Would you please pray with me? Father, we come here today and we're just honored to be here. And God, I pray that you would be with every single one of us as we not only remember, but God, as we just dedicate this time. Lord, I pray that in all these memories and all these things, God, that you would call to our minds and our hearts the amazing times, the good times, the laughter, all the different aspects that made these men who they were. And God, I pray that they would be honored and that you would be honored in the way that we remember them today. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Amen.
Pelican, all uniform personnel, present arms!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ready, ground colors? Ground colors. Ceremony, red.
You may be seated. And thank you so much to the Republican Women of Prescott. That was beautiful. Thank you for your gifts and talents and offering those today. It is now my honor to introduce our first speaker, Mayor of Prescott, Phil Good.
Thank you, Chaplain, and thank you all for the opportunity to say a few introductory words regarding this magnificent memorial monument. Today we remember the Granite Mountain Interagency Hotshot crew who gave their lives battling the Yarnell Fire on June 30th, 2013. Their valor and dedication and sacrifice have become part of the fabric of Prescott, and their legacy will symbolize bravery, duty, and sacrifice for generations to come. Their motto, Esse Quan Videri, spoke to their dedication, not to seem to be so dedicated, but to actually be dedicated. In this often superficial world, that real dedication has become truly rare. They lived it. As we stand before this newly dedicated memorial statue, on behalf of the City of Prescott, I want to extend my gratitude to artist Deborah Fellows, architect Michael Taylor, contractor Ed Van Beek from Vasco Inc., the Granite Mountain Hotshots Memorial Partnership Board of Directors, the Yavapai Prescott Indian Tribe, and the towns of Chino Valley, Camp Verde, Dewey Humboldt, and Prescott Valley, and all the many donors who work to bring this magnificent monument to our community. It will serve as a permanent tribute to the courage of our 19 heroes and a symbol of the unbreakable spirit that defines our community. These brave firefighters were our family, friends, and neighbors. Their commitment to safeguarding lives and property exemplifies the highest ideals of service and sacrifice. This statue will remind us not only of their heroism, but also of the profound sense of duty that drove them to face those flames. To the families, friends, and loved ones of these fallen heroes, we extend our deepest condolences and ongoing support. Your loss is immeasurable, but please know that we have stood and will continue to stand with you. We hope to honor their memory by fostering a community that values and upholds the principles that they exemplified every day. May this memorial symbolize our community's undying respect and gratitude and inspire future generations to live with the same dedication and courage that defined our Granite Mountain Hotshots. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, not only for your leadership, but also for your dedication to the Granite Mountain Interagency Hotshot crew and memorializing them over the years. I'd like to now invite to the podium Craig Brown. He is the Yavapai County Board of Supervisors.
Hello everyone, I'm Craig Brown, Chairman of the Yavapai County Board of Supervisors. It was 11 years ago today that I received a telephone call from our county administrator. I remember it so clearly because the information was so astounding and terrible. It was as though I'd been sent back when JFK had been assassinated in Dallas, or as I watched those airliners crash into the towers of New York. I would never forget this or those moments. The call told me the minimum information available at the time about the fire, but the impact came with the words that our hotshot crew unit in Yarnell had been overwhelmed by the wind and fire. 19 had passed away. Early the following morning, we were going to meet with Sheriff Masher and get a briefing, then stand by for the honor guards from different jurisdictions to carry out their duty of recovering the fall. I had thought about the families of the 19 and how they were going to need every ounce of compassion and caring a county or town could manage. Even the state and country would never know or feel their total loss and pain. Yarnell and the hills around it looked like a battlefield. Smoke was still rising, black and gray ash everywhere. Total destruction. It reminded me of Vietnam. To this day, I can only say how heartbroken my wife and I were for all of you and share your pain and loss in a small way. It has been an honor to donate to and assist with the building of this monument in dedication to their heroic actions of June 30th, 2013. It will lay testament to their dedication and to your own personal losses. We of Yavapai County will never forget.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I would now like to welcome to the podium John Marsh. He is the father of Eric Marsh, who passed away 11 years ago today.
As a family member, I realize that sometimes a memorial is a reminder of a tragedy and loss. But we can take comfort in the fact that for many, many years to come, thousands of people will observe this memorial, they will reflect on it, and they will share our loss. over the years that we waited for the monument to be completed, there was a lot of people involved. I'd like to thank the county supervisors for providing us with a piece of land to put the memorial on. The memorial committee has worked literally for years, and they owe a great deal of our appreciation for coming together with all of the aspects it takes to construct a memorial of this magnitude. Another group that sometimes that we've mentioned briefly is that to finance a project of this magnitude would require a great deal of money, and it came from municipalities and a lot of industrial people, and then hundreds and hundreds of individuals contributed what they were able to. And so there are literally hundreds and hundreds of people who share a financial partnership with this memorial, and they can look at it with pride. The artist, Deborah, who we are enjoying the view now of the memorial, is to be congratulated with coming up with a memorial that is both timely, it is attractive, and we know that granite will last a long, long time, so after we're all gone, that statue will still be here, and that marble will still, or granite will still be here. As a parent, you can look at the monument and you say, that is my son. As a family member, you can look at it, and brothers and sisters and cousins can say, I knew him. And the children of the Hotshots can look at the memorial and say, that's my dad. Wait for it. Won't be very long. Some little kid's going to come up here, and he's going to say, that's my grandpa. I'd like to thank each person here today for your participation, and I appreciate it as a family member, and I'm sure the other family members do also. And we ask that God give us peace and comfort. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marsh, for sharing with us. I'd now like to welcome Deborah Fellows. She is the artist of this memorial, and we'll welcome her to the stage.
It's often been said that beauty is in the eyes of the beholders, and so it is with art. What you behold here today is what you see in it today is what you behold, and if it touches your feelings, that's what really matters. I'm grateful that I've been asked to speak about what I felt when I put this together. And it all started in 2015 when the call to the committee came out, asking for everything that's been stated here: the respect, the every part of giving back and healing. 3 years later, I entered a conference room. 3 years. I entered a conference room of committee members, and it was very apparent by the poignance on each one of their face. They were lawyers, businessmen, parents, individuals from the Indian tribes. They were all there, and what they had in common was a desire for healing. I was immediately aware that day in that conference room that the commission to do this project was far beyond any commission I'd ever been requested to perform. I primarily work in bronze. I primarily work in bronze, but I elected on this project to incorporate granite. The granite that I chose, I selected from a granite mine in the East Coast that matched the granite in the building. I selected for the color and the size and the look of the granite to incorporate the cohesiveness of this place. When the committee started the project, the city gave us 20 square feet to work with to do this memorial. In my decision to do this design, I wanted to create an area that was a healing spot, and I hope it's not too large a word to say, but somewhat of a hallowed spot, something that's a little bit spiritual when you walk up to it and you think of the loved ones or those that have passed on. The 17-foot granite piece that I elected to use was to symbolize the smoke of a firefighter. My husband and I live in Sonoyta, Arizona, and we live at a location where, particularly this time of year, we look across the horizon, similar to the gaze of the individual here in bronze. You look across the horizon to see the telltale spire of smoke going up. This large 17-foot granite symbolizes the impending wildfire. I placed the bronze in front of the spire. As the viewer stands here on the walk and looks at the monument, the firefighter stands between the viewer and the impending horrific storm behind him. The firefighters have been saviors for property and human life for years. The focus on the name of this, the focus of this firefighter memorial is these 19 names. I've done other monuments to veterans of wars, and usually the names are all subdued in a quiet way. This memorial was to lift up these 19 guys, and I left the faces of both pieces of granite clear and clean, and they focus totally on the 19 names. For those of you who haven't seen this at night, we have lights that are behind these steps. There are no lights on the bronze. As you walk by, all that this is a silhouette. And that silhouette is the essence. Essence means the spirit of all 19 of those guys, or anyone. In the light of day, if you look straight at him and his gaze, it's like I said, the horizon, viewing the horizon for the next effort that they have to place to fight and do what they're blessed to do. But if you move to the right of this piece, there's a look on the face I can't take a lot of credit for this, because in the studio, sometimes it comes to you and that's just a gift from the Lord, that it goes there. There's a softness, a vulnerability, and an innocence. Each one of those kids is either a dad, a son, a brother, carved on the backside of the monument, I have the image of the alligator juniper tree that the 19 guys saved about a week and a half before they all met their demise. Seeing this vision, when we put this up 3 weeks ago, was absolutely the most humbling thing that I've ever felt in the world of art. To have conceived a blueprint that I gave to that committee at the long table that day, and then to see it come alive. The granite went up, and then the bronze went up, and to see everything that I wanted to have happen actually transcended the physical. And that's what it's all about. I thank God for every person that helped me, and I can see him sitting here in the crowd. My dear friend John Pelkey that did the blasting on the back of the piece. The Petersons, my friends in Tucson that helped me. I just thank God for every one of them that helped make my dream come true, that would serve as healing for each one of you that have feelings for any one of these individuals. I've come and gone from Prescott so many times over the last 6 years that this project has lasted. And today I'm leaving and it's finally yours. I'm relieved and grateful to have been a part of this. I will leave today knowing a part of my heart is left right here. Thank you.
Deborah, thank you so much for the time and the talent that you've poured into this. It's amazing to hear directly from you that nothing was left to chance. You have used every single piece to represent something and to memorialize these 19, and like you said, their sons, their fathers, their brothers. And thank you so much for every single ounce of effort and treasure that you've put into this. It shows. And thank you for giving us a piece of your heart that we can have in our community as a testimony to all that has been gone through and all that people have endured during these years that have passed. I'd now like to welcome Fire Chief Holger Dura, Prescott Fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, Supervisor Brown, Mayor Good, distinguished guests, public safety colleagues from all around the state and the country, and most importantly, to our families. Our crew is home. It's a distinct honor and privilege to be asked by the Memorial Committee to deliver these remarks. I speak before you today as a steward of the Prescott Fire Department, and by extension, all of our firefighters, both present and past. On their behalf, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the committee for their diligent work and grit, matched only by the very crew that they were committed to memorializing. We're also forever indebted to the countless donors who funded this magnificent site, and of course, the artist who brought her vision to life. This monument speaks for itself far louder than any of the words spoken here today. And frankly, I'm stunned beyond words. Even its location on the courthouse square is fitting, as our 19 would be a very visible part of our longest standing fire department tradition, the annual hose cart races on Cortez. And as the hotshot ethos demands, the ones you don't see standing on this podium today carry the true honor of your gesture to allow the voice of a firefighter to be heard here today to offer these remarks to you. I am therefore only one of countless firefighters who could stand in my place. Fire chiefs are nothing more than firefighters who like to hear themselves talk. So my deepest apologies, you're stuck with me. First, and most importantly, a message to our families and those watching from wherever today finds you here on the camera. Our department will always remember, and we carry you in our hearts. The mission of the Prescott Fire Department was expanded on June 30th, 2013, to protect, honor, and enshrine the legacy of Crew 7. And it is a mission we will be relentless in achieving. You are a permanent member of our department, and we will not falter in our responsibility to all of you. To the town of Yarnell, we will always be connected with you. Our unimaginable loss does not overshadow our understanding of the deep impact this event has had on all of you, and we remain ready to assist you in your time of need. To our department and our brothers and sisters from CAFMA, like the families, we were not given the choice 11 years ago to become members of a small number of departments that had to pick themselves up after being punched in the gut, try to make sense of the unthinkable, and work through a host of organizational and personal challenges that we hope no one else ever has to face. But the reality is that this profession calls on us to take calculated risks. And as much as we are trained to control a scene, it is God who ultimately has control of all of our outcomes. So to all of our public safety colleagues beyond our department, please know that if tragedy finds you, we will be there to offer our hearts and our arms to lift you up the way that you did for us many years ago. The reason that you don't see many of our members here today is that they chose to stand watch at their stations or to spend today in a manner that best fits their own healing journey. And as their chief, I'm grateful to all of them. This is the spirit of the Hotshots, and it is the spirit of our fire department. On a daily basis, we are in a transformation to meet the needs of our growing community. And because that is our purpose, a purpose that is also carrying the legacy of the crew. Today, I'd like you to come with me on a little journey to reflect on 3 perspectives that are in my heart today. First of all, this is everyone's memorial. This is not the city's, the county's, it's not our department's memorial. And in many ways, it's not even the memorial for the 19. This is a public memorial. It's placed here on purpose for all to see, so that 365 days a year, the hotshot behind me will stand watch as a sentinel over those who visit this place. Just like no single person or entity owns the events of that day, this magnificent memorial has nothing to do with property rights and has everything to do with community responsibility. It is collectively the responsibility of all of us to come to this place and reflect on their sacrifice. 11 years ago, there were a multitude of feelings and conflicts and even deep shame for many of us. With the dedication of this memorial, I'm calling on all of us to use it as a symbol of our unity and not our division. Grief is only valuable when it has purpose. So what better way to honor their legacy and their memory than by overcoming together? The entire community of Prescott and beyond should be so proud of the resiliency, collaboration, and healing that has made this permanent statue come to its rightful place. And with this, I invite you to also remember Ryder Ashcraft's challenge to all of us just last year on this very square to make a choice to be better. To close wounds, to love each other, and to always be kind. The second perspective is that of our common humanity. Tragedies of this magnitude resonate far beyond the communities they impact. They shake us to our core. Throughout history, that has been the case. But in their aftermath, it is the heroes that emerge from these events that pull the community to a focal point. Why is that? You see, it's not the heroes themselves who do this. Sure, every one of us who has ever worn a badge, sworn to protect our country, or made it our duty to sacrifice everything for another human being has served as a beacon of hope to others. But it is not because of who we are alone. It is because we represent one of the immutable and unshakable parts of our collective humanity. When humanity is drawn to confront tragedy, the hero emerges because our human instinct to live in community and not isolation will always win out. And therefore, I invite you to look at this statue as our affirmation that our common humanity stands as rock solid as the granite behind me. The story of the Granite Mountain Hotshots is not owned by any single individual. It is a story that belongs to humanity. It is a narrative woven from the threads of bravery, selflessness, and the ultimate sacrifice. Finally, a perspective on the future. In my 2 years here, I've had to face my own feelings of anger, despair, and grief surrounding June 30th. And those pale in comparison to those that experienced everything firsthand. Families that were forever changed. Our department confronting scrutiny and wrestling with our own decisions. And the community. When I speak on this event to others not familiar with our area, I emphasize the deep connections the crew had here. Outsiders cannot truly understand the impact of June 30th until they understand what our community is all about. Our department lost almost a quarter of its member in a second. But all of you who were here lost friends, teammates, and Little League coaches, and had your hope challenged to its very core. This tragedy has irreversibly impacted countless lives. But did you know that these impacts have not all been negative? Every day, one of the charities that was founded as a result of June 30th serves one of its beneficiaries. Every day, someone learns about the crew at the Learning and Tribute Center and is educated about wildfire preparedness, and perhaps inspires someone else to choose public service as a career. And at the Memorial Trail in Yarnell, and now here, firefighters from around the world come to reflect and renew their commitment to safety and to our commitment to come home at the end of our shifts. Many of those closest to the events of June 30th, including those in our department and our families, are turning their grief into hope. Because with hope, we can make sense and give purpose to our pain. But also because the tragedy does not define our department, nor does it define this incredible community. What defines us instead is what we choose to do with our collective grief. We appreciate the ongoing gestures you have all had for us and our families. But like our firefighters are transforming to give our grief purpose, I invite you to use this dedication to transform along with us. Therefore, I'm openly calling on all of members of our community to join our department in using the installation of this statue as the tangible, visible, and permanent turning point in this story. A turning point where we purposefully choose to look forward with as much, if not more, energy with which we pay reverence to our past. Please don't mistake my comments for asking to forget. Quite the opposite. Instead, I'm challenging all of us to live in the present. And we can do this in many ways. But I would challenge us all especially to choose service to others. This can be as simple as inviting others to come to Prescott and learn about our collective story, even a story that extends far beyond the 19 men behind me. Join one of our volunteer charities. Resist the urge to criticize and instead encourage each other. Take 5 minutes to call someone in need. And I'm personally challenging myself to call my mother who's watching right now. So now, this memorial stands here in a public space to ensure that their legacy will always endure. It is here for generations to come, for all who seek to understand the profound dedication and heroism that define these men. It is a place for reflection, for learning, and for heroism to draw inspiration from their extraordinary example. The legacy of the Granite Mountain Hotshot lives on in the dedication of every firefighter who dons this uniform. It lives on in our department's commitment to remain ever vigilant and ever devoted to the safety and well-being of our community. Their spirit infuses our daily work, guiding us to serve with the same valor and determination that they had. So to close, I can think of no more fitting words than those of Eric Marsh, the crew superintendent. In 2 letters that he wrote in 2013, he perhaps prophetically channeled the character, features, and permanence of this memorial. He wrote, "The Granite Mountain Hotshots enjoys a strong reputation among our peers. We will continue to display the same courage and vision that our founders instilled from the very beginning. Our crew members take seriously the responsibility to represent our city and citizens both on and off duty, wherever they may be. Maybe to answer the question of who are we, it would be helpful to explore who or what we are not. We are not nameless or faceless. We are not expendable. We are not satisfied with mediocrity, and we're not willing to accept being average. We are not quitters." Those words live on in each and every one of us, and they live on in your fire department. To the community, we pledge that we will be dedicated to carrying the crew's legacy forward by always being fully aware of our responsibility to you, and that we will never be satisfied with mediocrity, and we will refuse to accept being average. It's because the citizens that we protect deserve that from us. As we close today's ceremony, I want you to reflect, if you're a citizen of Prescott, to be extraordinarily proud. What is standing behind me is world class. It is profound. And I hope that many of you will continue to come here to reflect alongside of us. We would not be here without our community. So please know, as I mentioned, this is as much about you as it is about us, the families, and those that were closely affected by the tragedy. And as I mentioned, just like this hotshot behind me, we will keep our watch, we will stand tall, and we will walk this journey with you. Only this time, we hope to do it with hope and joy in our hearts that our crew is finally home. Thank you.
As we wrap up today, we're going to have Amazing Grace played on bagpipes.
Pelican. And hunt. Ready to carry colors. Carry colors. Pelican. All uniform personnel. Present. Arms.
thank you everyone for coming today. This concludes our ceremony. We're going to retire the colors, but I do urge you to remain here at 4:42. The courthouse bells will ring 19 times to honor our fallen heroes. Thank you once again for coming today. And we hope this stands in a place where you can honor the fallen, and that it will be a place where you will remember to love well, to live well, and to live with passion and purpose. Thank you very much. So please feel free to take a seat. In about 10 minutes. Our color guard will come back to attention, and then we'll have the sounding of the bell at the courthouse.
Good job, Bruce. Thank you. You guys. You bet. Good job. Good job. Well played.
Did you quit texting her when I don't know?
You know, you just got to get up early.
Gotta be, yeah.
Yeah, but it was all in the best interest. You know, I couldn't make it to lunch, so I have to make sure you stay.
Bruce, you know about smells? Bruce Martinez.
I know, I'm thinking about it because you don't have to be married to us.